Hey, my name is Rachel. I am a real estate agent in the state of Ohio, and today I wanted to talk about 3 simple tips that you can do to help your house sell. We're currently in a very heavy seller's market, which essentially means that there's a lot more buyers out than there are people selling their house, so there's a lot more demand than there is inventory. And a lot of times that means that the seller gets the upper hand in most negotiating. I don't want to say that the seller always comes out on top, but a lot of times the seller is more likely to get what they want versus the buyer. However, there are a lot of occasions, or I see a lot of houses on the market that are still on the market for quite a while. So I want to kind of talk about some of the things you can do around your house to make it sell faster, or if you're getting a lot of low offers, maybe you can prevent yourself from getting more low offers. So I have 3 quick tips for you. The first tip is to clean your house. That's all it is. Make sure that you, dust things off. If you don't go into a room very often, make sure it looks like you go into the room pretty often. Make sure your carpets don't have any weird stains. Clean your windows. Cleaning your windows may actually add in additional natural light, so that's a bonus tip for you. But clean your windows, clean your windowsills, clean the bathrooms, your showers, your toilets, your sink areas. Anything that might not be touched, make sure it's not dusty. If your carpets are really dirty, maybe there's a lot of spots on them that you can't really seem to get out, maybe you're better off ripping them up, especially if you have hardwood floors. A lot of people are into hardwood floors right now. It might be more beneficial for you actually to remove the carpet and just have the hardwood floor. So those are all things that you can consider doing. Make sure that the lawn, either front lawn, back lawn, whatever it is mowed and it looks nice. You want to make sure that the house looks like you maintained it. If things are clean, I'm talking even appliances or things that are going to convey with the house, like hot water heaters. If those are clean, people are a lot less likely to be concerned about them. Or, if you're, for example, let's say your hot water heater is dirty, or it's dusty, looks like it hasn't been touched in a while, people are going to assume because of the dust that it's old and that it needs replaced. But if it's clean, or you get the dust off of it, it looks newer, and people are going to assume that it's okay, it doesn't need replaced. So make sure things are clean. That's all there is to it. If you I was in a house a couple weekends ago where you could tell there had been work done. You can tell that there had been paint. You can tell that things had been sanded, and you know how you could tell because there was dirt everywhere and there was like dust everywhere, and it was nice to see that somebody had put work in, but it still felt very dusty around. And it wasn't like I haven't touched this in 30 years dust, but it was like we recently sanded a whole bunch of stuff and didn't really clean up afterwards dust. So definitely clean your house. That's my first tip for you. The second tip is pictures. Most of the houses that don't sell, most of the listings that go expired, you can go through the pictures and it's like, oh my God, no wonder this didn't sell, because we're using a camera from 2002 and nobody bothered to take good pictures. Number one, if you're, taking a picture of your bedroom, get the stuff off the floor, clean up a little bit, then take the picture. Even if you have to take stuff out of that room and take it to another room and then photograph the room you took it out of and then put the stuff back, that's fine. But make sure that your pictures look nice. There's a lot of value in having good pictures, especially now where people are a little bit more hesitant to go out. People are a little bit more hesitant to have people in their homes looking. You gotta have good pictures. And same thing with video. If your agent wants to get professional pictures taken, if your agent wants to get professional video taken, want to do a virtual tour, whatever it is, let them. For the love of God, let them. And don't be the person who wants to use like, hey, this house was sold in 2015, why don't we just reuse those photos? No, don't do that. If you're not getting showings, if you're not getting interest, and your pictures are not updated or your pictures don't look good, get new pictures. Professional, I've seen some people take some decent photos with their iPhone, and I wouldn't necessarily suggest taking pictures with an iPhone, but if you're not on the budget to put in professional photos, then you know, get some decent pictures. And if you don't know if they're decent quality, get a couple opinions. Ask your family, ask your friends, you know, ask your coworkers, hey, if you saw this house on the market with these pictures, would you be interested in it? My third and final tip for this video is to take feedback. It is so important. I am personally committed. If I see a house by myself, if I show a house to somebody else, if I go to an open house, no matter if I'm in a house and somebody's requesting feedback, I am committed to giving you feedback. It's how we get better. A lot of times you don't know what people are thinking until you get the feedback. So it's very important to get feedback, to give feedback, and to take feedback. Selling homes can be difficult because a lot of times people have some kind of sentimental attachment to their home. You know, it's where they made memories, it's where their family grew, it's where they got married, you know, things like that. And so it can be hard to take feedback, especially negative feedback. But if you want your house to sell, it's not a emotional transaction, it is a business transaction. And if we want to sell the house for the most amount of money, we're going to need to get feedback from the people who are in the house. If let's say we are going to go onto the market, we're going to list the house, we're going to make it active, and I think we could sell the house for $165, and you want to go on the market for $175. Typically I'm okay with that. It's a little high, but I'm okay with it. But if we get, you know, a couple of feedback, hey, this house is overpriced, maybe we should reconsider. If we get 10 people saying, hey, this house is overpriced, maybe we should reconsider. There's no point in asking for feedback on showings, on anything, if you're not going to take it. I like to give feedback if there is like an awkward room. Like, for example, I was in a house the other day and the house had a kitchen that was like in an L shape, and all of the cabinets, appliances, everything was on the inner, or I guess it would be the outer corner along the wall. And then the rest of the kitchen was just like empty. And there was space between like the counter and the wall. There was like 5 feet of space there where there was just nothing. And then there was a whole other wall where there was just nothing. And it felt very awkward. And so I left the listing agent some feedback, like maybe you should stage it, maybe, you know, you should leave the person's furniture in that room until you're done having showings, because it just feels very awkward. And when you're with somebody in a house, you can, you know, brainstorm things you could do with different spaces, but people have a very hard time seeing potential. So if you have a place or a space where there's a lot of potential, you might want to, you know, leave something there or make sure that it's staged. Or if you have something that works in a space that's kind of awkward, you know, kind of leave it there for the time being so that other people can see how you use the space. But just be willing to, you know, accept feedback. And, you know, there's some things obviously you can't do anything about. Like if the buyer hates the layout of the house, okay, great, well, they're not the right buyer then. But if it's something that you can fix, maybe there's an odor, maybe, you know, the feedback is, hey, it smells like wet dog, or, you know, hey, it smells like you own 37 cats, or, you know, hey, it smells like you've been chain smoking cigarettes in here for 50 years. You might want to try to do something about that, because it's going to be very hard to get a buyer that's not some kind of investor if you are not taking care of those issues. By the way, if you want to get rid of those issues, carpet, make sure you don't have any carpet, because carpets will keep smells like nothing else. Maybe people don't like the color of paint you have on the walls. That's a big one. Yeah, I liked that house, except I hated the yellow paint everywhere. And I know, and you know, and most logical people know, it's a very easy fix. But if you don't do it, then the buyer's logic is, well, let's go. I mean, they were asking $165. Let's go for like $160 because we're going to have to use some paint. Paint's probably, in most cases, not going to cost $5,000, but in buyer's logic, oh, okay, there's something wrong with the property, so then I need to fix that thing, and the seller doesn't want to fix that thing, so I'm going to go in below offer because I have to fix that thing out of my pocket. So just kind of think about those things. Maybe, you know, if you have a lot of very loud colors around, maybe, you know, try painting them a little more neutral. Usually people go for like gray or, you know, beige, cream, you know, something that's a little neutral and non-offensive. those are my main 3 tips. Those are like the most obvious things. If your house isn't selling, if you've been on the market for a while, or if you are going to go on the market and you're worried about your house just sitting on the market and not getting any offers. Those are usually the 3 things that I can think of off the top of my head that come to mind the quickest when you tell me your house isn't selling. It's not clean, it's not taken care of, it's not presented well. Their pictures are terrible, and you're not taking any feedback. If you're hard to work with, if you're getting the same feedback consistently but you're not doing anything about it, I mean, sometimes the issue is with the buyer and sometimes I will just say that it's not. So if you found this video helpful, if you'd like more tips to be able to sell your house for a good price and try to prevent lowball offers, or maybe your house is sitting on the market for a long time and you kind of want some more tips on how to prevent that from happening, I would be more than happy to make another video, or if you want to shoot me an email, my business email is Rachel, RACHEL, @topshelfrealty.net. My website is topshelfrealty.net, and I will leave my social media links in the description below. I wish you luck on all of your real estate endeavors, and I will see you next time. Bye.